ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول كل بدعة ضلالة.
What is the ruling on having non-Muslim friends that a person sits, eats, drinks, dines, accompanies and travels with, whilst there is little and no da'wah being done to them? You should avoid that. If you're not giving them any da'wah, what's the purpose of this companionship? You're just going to become like them. Because the soul is good at stealing, the soul. So the soul steals the character of your companions. So if the companions around you are many and numerous, and you are doing what they do, and you sit with them, and you eat with them, and you drink with them, and you accompany them, then you will steal their character. That's the nature of the soul. That's why a good daughter who spends a lot of time with her good mother and her good grandmother, she will adopt much of those good qualities of her mother and grandmother. But if her mother and grandmother are wicked, good-for-nothings, then the daughter is likely going to be like that. And you hear sometimes in our cultures, they say, oh, she's just like her mother. And they don't mean it praiseworthy-wise. Oh, she's just like her. What do you expect? Look, daughter like mum. That's what they say. So therefore, a good character requires good companionship. So with regard to these types, yes, you can have acquaintances to whom you are giving da'wah, to whom you have, and for whom you have a great amount of concern, whether they are awam from the Muslimin, they are just, people who aren't practicing much, and they're, doing all types of things that they shouldn't be doing, watching TV or watching movies and smoking and listening to music. So these are acquaintances that you try to bring to the da'wah. But they are not your ashab. They are not your close companions. Your close companions are people of taqwa and people of piety and people of religion. They are your companions. All right? As for these, even amongst Muslims, then yes, you can say, well, he's my relative. But just because he's your relative and he smokes and he drinks and you say, I only hang around because he's my relative and I'm keeping the ties of kinship. No, you keep the ties of kinship by visitation and da'wah. And inviting him, showing him good conduct so that he accepts the da'wah or she accepts the da'wah. With the kuffar, it's the same. You may even have relatives who are kuffar. So you keep that acquaintance, that contact. If they are relatives, then you keep the ties of kinship. And your intent is to bring them to Islam. You want them to have da'wah. But you would not spend your nights and days with them and travel with them and eat with them and drink with them and, you go on holiday with them as some people do. Then all of that you should avoid, except with your family, and meaning your wife and your children and your mother and your father and your righteous Muslim friends.